Hello everybody and welcome back to Out of Body. My name is Sabrina and in today's video we're going to be diving deeper into the topic of apports. Now if you do not know what an apport is, I did do a video on this previously. I will link it in the cards as well as the description down below. But basically, in short, an apport is a physical, tangible object that seemingly shows up out of thin air right in front of you. And it is caused by something paranormal. So it could be that a spirit guide left it to you, an angel, or somehow transported through to our world from another realm. So specifically in this video, I'm going to be talking about the personal experiences that I've had with apports recently. So I have had two different experiences recently within the last 6 or so months that I felt were significant enough, and I actually saved the objects that I found, and I wanted to talk about a little bit of the backstory and kind of how these came about. So before I talk about the backstory on this one, I want to go ahead and show it to you. This is the first apport that I found, and it did fall right in front of me. As you can see, it says, "You will spend the rest of your days with the love of your life." And it appears to be some sort of fortune that you get from a fortune cookie. Okay, so how this came about, I was actually at work, and if you don't already know, I work in my day job as an accountant. And so I was at work kind of going through some papers. I was going through a specific stack of papers that I've gone through at least 2 or 3 times before. So it seems like had this particular slip of paper that I just showed you, had this piece of paper been in there before, it seems like I would have seen it before, if that makes sense. So on this particular day, I was just going through the stack of papers and I was kind of straightening them out, you know, and all of a sudden this slip of paper just falls to my feet. It just falls straight to the ground. I look down and I'm like, what is that? And I look at it and I'm like, okay, that is really interesting. It could just be that, you know, whoever had the papers before me, you know, ate Chinese that day and had a fortune in their fortune cookie and laid it down and just laid a paper on top and there you go. But it's still weird to me that I wouldn't have found it before because like I said, I went through this stack of papers at least twice before and, you know, straightened them out and all that like I did this time, but all of a sudden it appears in front of me. Personally, I believe that it is an apport, that somehow it transported through, from another realm, or just in a paranormal way, that it actually came through from a spirit guide or something. Reason being is that it happened not too long after I got engaged, actually, which I am engaged right now. And so that is why I think that it could have been paranormal, and it's obviously a very positive message for someone who's recently engaged. So that is the first one that I experienced. Let me know, guys, what you thought of that one down below. Comment down below and let me know if you think that that was an apport, or do you think that it's easily explained away. Now, the second one that I experienced recently, and I will show it to you first, is actually this little pink, and pardon my nasty looking nail, but this pink little charm. It almost looks like a little Barbie charm or something. Now, I don't have a daughter, I have a son. I actually have a set of Barbies, sort of, that I kept from when I was little. Although I was the kind of kid that would rip the heads off the Barbies, so yeah, that's me. So the backstory to this one is that I was home all day long until at one point later in the day, I walk into my kitchen and there it is in the middle of the floor, seemingly out of nowhere. I will say sometimes my son, when he's running around, sometimes if he finds a piece of trash or something, he'll pick it up and throw it in the kitchen because he knows that's where the trash can is. And I have a little baby gate, so he can't actually get in the kitchen, but he knows the trash can is in there. So if he finds a piece of trash, he'll throw it in there. But for one thing, he wouldn't see this as a piece of trash. He knows it only like pieces of paper or like a piece of food or something is trash. He doesn't really throw his toys in there. And I've never seen this before. The other thing that makes this strange is that, if you guys don't already know, I have a haunted doll, and her name is Colette, and she is haunted by the spirit of a 5-year-old girl. who passed away back in the 1960s. And I've had several things happen since I've owned the doll. What I thought was interesting is that this being kind of a little girl's toy, it definitely didn't come from me. It's not something my son plays with. And I wondered, could it be that somehow she found it and brought it to me? So what I did, initially when I first saw it, I just thought, okay, that's odd. And it looks like something that belongs to a little girl. So immediately I thought of my haunted doll and the spirit of the little girl. And so I actually put it on the table where I keep the doll. And I have a couple of crystals and little toys that I gave to her. So I thought, well, I'll just give this to her. Well, after I did that, something very strange happened. So the next day, I had come home from work, and when I brought my son home, he like made a beeline for that table where the doll is, and he doesn't really pay attention to that doll, by the way, but he made a beeline for that table and went straight for the charm, picked it up, took it over to the kitchen table, or the dining room table, I should say, laid it out on this little napkin that I had on the table, and laid it right in the middle of it, and just left it there and walked away. I was like, okay, that's odd. For one thing, how would he even notice this little bitty thing on that table? Because like I said, I have actually 2 dolls sitting on that table. There's a story behind that, but I have 2 dolls sitting on that table. I have crystals. I have a couple of little figurines or whatever for the spirit of the little girl that haunts one of those dolls. And he doesn't pay attention to that table ever because it's actually in the corner of my room and it's actually blocked off to where he can't get to it on purpose because I don't want him playing with those dolls. And so he makes a beeline for that table and reaches over to grab this little thing. And I'm watching him, and I'm kind of watching him to make sure he's not grabbing for the dolls because I don't want him playing with those. And he grabs the little charm and, like I said, just takes it straight to the dining room table, lays it on a napkin, and just leaves it there. And doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything, just walks away and goes about his business. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. Because that's an odd thing for my son to do anyway, because usually when he finds something or he picks something up or he sees something new, he'll say something about it, he'll come bring it to me, or he'll want to play with it longer. He won't just take it and lay it out on the table, or he'll take it and throw it, you know, if it's something like he's that way. If he'll find something new and then he doesn't really want it, he'll just take it and throw it behind him. Well, he didn't do that with this. He laid it out on the table. So it kind of made me wonder if possibly this charm actually was something gifted to me from the spirit of the little girl, and she intended it for me, and when I put it on the table next to her, she was kind of like, no, it's for you, and guided my little boy to go grab it and put it on the table. That's what I think, and that's why I think that this could be an apport. It's not just because I found it randomly. I mean, I think sometimes things like that, you know, if you find a penny on the ground, or if you find a feather or a rock, it could be an apport, but sometimes I think it's just something you found. I'm not necessarily a skeptic, but I do try to explain things away if I can. Initially, I would have explained this away, and that's why I just put it on the table with the doll, thinking that, well, whatever it is, it looks like something for a little girl, so I'll just, you know, leave it for her. But the fact of what happened the next day, I'm like, okay, that's weird. So anyway, that is the 2 experiences that I had recently. If I have anything else happen, I will definitely update you guys, but let me know, comment down below, let me know what you guys think of this. Do you think it could have been something paranormal? Do you think it was just a coincidence, just a chain of events that just seemed a little odd, but nothing really to it? What do you guys think? I would love to know, and I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, whatever time it is when you see this video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!